What's up, blind viewers? How's everybody doing? I think you're going to enjoy this one today. We have the Canadian Queen of Cooking. She is a YouTube veteran. That's right. It is YOYOMAX12, a diet-free zone.
Well, thanks for having me, BlindViews. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, this is awesome. All right, I'm just going to jump right into it. And I know the first question a lot of people probably have is YOYOMAX12. What is that? Why? What is that all about? Please explain.
I always tell people it's not a really interesting story, but I'll tell it to you. I created my YouTube channel back in 2006 in October. So that was just like after the inception of YouTube, really. It wasn't very long afterwards. I had discovered this YouTube thing because they were, the news was showing videos from YouTube, viral videos, because it was viral videos even back then.
Yeah.
And I went online because it just to check this thing out. And there was a video that I wanted to make a comment on. And you can't comment without having a YouTube channel, without having an account. So I had to create one. And at the time, the thought of me like talking to thousands of people on the internet was like, just crazy people did that. You know what I mean? Like, who in their right mind would do that? I certainly didn't have it in my scope of imagination that I would ever do that myself. So wasn't with the intent on saying, hey, this is a good channel name for a cooking channel. No, it didn't work out that way. What happened was about a week before, I was at my mom's house, and she's 80 this year. Well, hope she doesn't mind me telling her age. Probably not.
Sorry,
and her name is Yolande. Okay, it's French, Yolande. And she was on her computer and she was playing backgammon or some kind of online game, and she was using her full name, like her first and last name, as her username.
Right.
And I said, Mom, you got to pick a username, like something that doesn't have your real name in it, just for security, safety reasons. She says, well, honey, you make me a name. So back then, my son Max was about, I guess he was 7 or 8 or something like that. And we were visiting. And so I looked at my mom, and her name is Yolande. Everyone calls her Yo or Yo-Yo. And my son's name is Maxim. So Yo-Yo-Max. I said, how about Yo-Yo-Max? I said, it's got UN Max. She says, perfect. So I typed that in there. So when I was creating my YouTube channel name, I just said, well, you know what? That's the first thing that popped in my head. Why not? I liked it. It had my mom, who I love, and my son, who I love. So I'll just use that name. Well, there was already a Yo-Yo Max on YouTube.
Who'd have thought?
So I said, well, back in the day, YouTube, you couldn't have the name you wanted. If someone had your name, it was too bad for you.
Yeah.
You had to add numbers to it. And so 12 is my birthday. It's my son's birthday. It's, my house number.
Wow.
I've always had 12s in my life. Right. So it just popped. It's kind of been a favorite number if people have those. And I just kind of popped in. So I just threw that on the end, and YOYOMAX12.
Wow. And you said it wasn't that's kind of an interesting story. You said you started out by, wow, it's not a really big, that was an interesting story, I thought.
Well, that's good.
That's awesome. So as what we just discussed, you've been on YouTube for quite a long
14,
time.
Yeah, going on 14 years, I guess, because it was October of 2006. Yeah. I didn't start making videos until 2008, but I had made that channel. Well, it wasn't even a channel, I guess. It was an account or whatever you needed. I wasn't calling it a channel.
Right.
Just to be able to comment on videos.
So what kicked you in the pants to say, hey, I can do this?
Well, I had been commenting on people's videos on and off, and I stumbled upon, I was looking for a recipe, or I was looking for a Christmas craft or something like that to do. And I stumbled upon a woman by the name of Jolene Sugarbaker. And she's Jolene Sugarbaker, the Trailer Park Queen is her. And she is it's kind of like she does real recipes, but it's a lot of comedy and that kind of, and it's kind of a caricature. If you go check her out, you'll see exactly what I mean. She's larger than life kind of caricature that she has. She's really funny, super awesome woman. And I was watching one of her videos, and she mentioned, people ask me who I like to watch on YouTube. She says, I like to watch this person and this person. And one of the people that she mentioned was another lady who I'm friends with to this day because of YouTube. Beth, who is Silver Scream Girl, who she was at the time. And then she has a channel called Cooking and Crafting. Anyway, long story short, I started watching her videos and I'd comment. I'd make a comment. And most of the other videos I'd ever watched, I made comments on them, but people never responded. And I don't know if I thought people couldn't respond, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Well, Beth had a little cat, a little kitten, and she used to perch on her shoulder when she was vlogging. She used to do daily vlogs and recipes. And my son loves cats. Well, he still does, but back then he was crazy over cats. And he used to say, oh, look, Tiny, look, like, he's talking about the cat. And I'd say, well, I type, you can't see me, I'm doing the typing. I would type in, Max says hi, or Max loves Tiny, or whatever. And lo and behold, in the video, Beth, she says, oh, and, Tiny says hi to Max, or something like that. And I was just blown away, because it felt like it was a celebrity to me. I mean, she wasn't, but, and she started writing back, typing back in comments. Well, back then we had things called video responses to YouTube videos. So you post a video and people could do video responses, and they were kind of linked together and they would appear on the bottom of your screen. So you'd have all the video responses. So people could, like, you could discuss a topic and then people could have their own views, and then they would put, so you'd have a whole bunch of videos of people responding to you. It was a really cool way of interacting with people. And the videos were all attached. They got rid of that for some reason. I don't know why, but YouTube, it changes, every year it's different.
Yeah.
So I made a video response to her. And then all of a sudden I got a couple of her subscribers. I subscribed to me and I started watching them. And then we all started commenting to one another. And we had a little group of people, maybe about 30, 40 people, that we became like a little community. We knew each other by first names. We sent each other birthday cards, Christmas cards, and things like that. And so then I started doing not daily vlogs, but several times a week I'd make a vlog just about my life. Wow. Today I went to the grocery store. I'd bring the camera in the grocery store. And, like stuff that people do now. Like, I was doing it then. And the only people who were watching were my friends. There was nobody else watching. Yeah. So I didn't really care about it. And so I had friends like all over the world. There were some in the United States and overseas. And anyway, so it was really cool to have all these people. And then one day I decided, I was discussing how I was doing. Oh, here comes my son. I was discussing how I was do some Christmas baking. And someone says, well, show us the Christmas baking recipe that you're making. I said, oh, okay. So I videotaped, it was peanut butter balls, chocolate covered peanut butter balls. Uh-huh. Wasn't my very first cooking video, it was one of the first ones. And I posted it, and then I was getting comments from people who weren't my friends, like strangers.
Yeah.
And then I was getting more and more subscribers. I mean, I still remember the day I got my 100th subscriber. I still remember that day. Wow. I was so excited that I had broken that 99, 100 subscribers. And I did a little special, and it was
triple digits.
It was really fun. And then that was about, so like I said, my first video went up about 2008. And so for about a year or so, I was just doing it for fun. And then YouTube sent me an email saying, hey, your peanut butter ball video is popular. Would you like to be a partner? If you do, apply here. Now, back then, you couldn't make money on a video unless you became a partner. You had to apply.
Right.
And then you had to write a little essay about why you think you should be a partner.
Wow.
And then they would, once you're accepted, then you can monetize your videos. There was no subscriber limit. There was no view limits. Like back then, it wasn't like that. I guess there wasn't a person actually reviewing these things.
Yeah.
So, I hemmed and hawed about it because back then, monetizing, was selling out. Do I want to sell out? You know what I mean? Because everyone was talking about, should we all sell out and monetize our channels? And a couple of my friends said, go for it. Go for it. Like, we're going to still watch you regardless. We know who you are. And so you make a little extra money, and I wasn't expecting I would anyway. So I monetized my channel, and then all of a sudden my views started going up, and I made more cooking videos, and those got more and more popular and more subscribers. So I kind of migrated as soon as I had like a ton of strangers watching me. Like, I kind of migrated away from my private life to just cooking videos.
Oh.
So I actually created a second channel for my my private stuff, and I was only sending it to certain people. And then I continued on with the cooking videos, and it took off. It took off from there. So I'd say it was about 2010 when I really started doing content for the sole purpose of gaining views and new subscribers and building a channel as a business.
Oh, okay. So that's when you,
a couple of years afterwards.
Yeah, buckled down and said, okay, I'm gonna make this thing work.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny to hear how different it was back then. It's there used to be if you were monetized, the corner of your screen had a little red triangle on it. So all the channels that were monetized, that were partners, had a little red triangle on the corner. You know, yeah, they just, and most of my earlier videos, if you watch a 2010-11 video, I'm talking about the sidebar. Link in the sidebar. I'm pointing. Everyone points this way. Link in the sidebar. Because that's where the description box was. It was on the side, not below. Now it's below. Yeah.
And then I'd say, click on show more. Click on read more. Click on read more. And then they changed the show more. And then so, you know, you have to try kind of, it's hard to, you know, it's always changing. And in annotations, right? They had annotations. Yeah. Most of my videos had annotations. But maybe some people watching now don't even know what they are. But it was like a little bubble that would pop up on your screen, and you could type what you wanted in there. Wow. And you could put like, you know, well, you could kind of, it was like a way of adding text to your video after the fact. You could kind of add a little editorial if you wanted to, and things like that. And the ends of my videos, you know, I would put a bunch in, like, watch this, watch that. And then you could put clickable boxes or like your end screen. Yeah. You could have these clickable boxes around you. So I used to put up an end screen, and it had a clickable box as an annotation. You could click on it and go to the next video, or go to a video you wanted people to see. But they've got rid of those. Now they have this new end screen business. Yep. That you put in while you're editing, like when you're uploading it. Before they have these annotations, used to do it. So half of my videos, it says click here to see more, and you can't because they're gone. They got rid of them. And I have too many videos to go back and start adding end screens. Yeah. Oh man. I got like 1,600 or something like that. It used to be too many. Wow, that would be crazy. So can you remember when they stopped the video comment, the video? Oh goodness. Responses? No, I can't remember. It was a while ago. I don't know, maybe eight years ago, something like it. You know, I'm trying to think of how long we had it, where it was there, but yeah, I'm not sure. It was fun though. Yeah, it does. It sounds interesting for sure. All right, so you started your cooking channel thing here, and you're doing your recipes. Did all your videos? Why I like to watch you? Well, one of the reasons is it's not a long, drawn out process. It's not a whole bunch of. It's pretty much concise to the point. This is it. This is what I used. This is how I did it. Cooked it. Here it is. Boom. Bingo, bango. Did you always do it like that, or was it a conscious decision, or how did that come about? Well, I can't stand watching it. If I'm looking for a recipe, I want to make something. I want to go in. I want to find out how to do it, and then get it over with. Right. And no one has 25 minutes to watch how to make something. Right. They don't. Well, I guess some people do, but most of us, if we're looking for the recipe, we want the recipe. And if you're looking for a video, you're looking for method, right? You're seeing how they did it. So that's why. Otherwise, you would just go and get the recipe on a recipe website or in a book. Yeah, read a book. Yeah. So, but the ones I was watching, they'd spend 5 minutes talking about the recipe, and then they'd fill their table with all the ingredients and say, to make this, you will need butter. then you will need eggs, and you will need sugar, and you know what? People know what they look like. You don't need to cut that out. The people want to just know they want to know how to make it.
Yeah.
So I just jump right in. I just jump right in and just do it. And a lot of people do appreciate that. I get comments like that every once in a while. Now, of course, people also watch for entertainment, like not me in particular, but other people for, let's say, entertainment purposes, like some cooking channels, it's about the personality, it's not less about the recipe, more about watching the person and listening to them talk. And if they're funny or sarcastic or whatever, you get to enjoy their personalities more than the actual recipe.
Yeah.
And some people, but mind you, some people say they watch and they never make anything. They just like to watch how I do things. So I mean, I guess it's for both. But you'll never see me chop an onion for 10 minutes either. Like, if you want to learn how to chop an onion, there's videos out there for that.
Yeah.
So if I can give advice to other cooking channels, it'd be like, no one wants to watch you scrape that bowl out for every last drop of batter out of the bowl. They don't want to see you do that. They get it. They understand you have to scrape it up. Right? So, anyway, I try to make my videos short. Mind you, YouTube, at least recently, well, I know recently, I guess it's been around that for a while, but they don't really reward short videos because you can't put 8 ads on a 2.5 minute video.
Right. Yeah, it used to be 10. They just dropped it down to 8. So if you had to have a 10-minute video to have more than that one ad, and actually, now they just dropped it down to 8.
Oh, it's 8 now?
Yes.
From 10. Okay, I didn't know that. Another reason why, actually, it just popped in my head, and the thing we're talking about changes in YouTube. Another reason why that my videos were short, because sometimes making like a complicated cupcake or doing a big recipe in 10 minutes is hard to do. to get all in. Our video limit was 10 minutes. That was it. At the beginning, you had 10 minutes. You had 10 and it cut right off. You were done. Like,
wow.
So you had to fit it in and you had to make sure it was exactly 10. Like you couldn't go over that 10-minute mark. And then slowly, but not very long after I got the partnership, they gave certain people unlimited, like you could get unlimited videos, right? But for the most part, 10 minutes was maximum. Like there was no such, you couldn't go over. So, you kind of get used to tight editing and really trying to get things like as concise as possible to fit it in to that 10 minutes time period. So that was one of the reasons.
Yeah. Well. Now that you say that, I kind of remember when I first started, there was a thing on there that would say you're allowed more than 15 minutes now. It was
exactly.
15 minutes. Yeah, it was 15 minutes when I started. And then after you were on for a little while, you got a little thing that said you're allowed more than 15 minutes now.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. I mean, now, well, now with live streams and whatnot, I mean, people go for hours. I mean, it's it's certainly changed quite a bit.
I forgot all about that until you said that. That reminded me. Wow, that's right. There was a 15-minute limit when I started. That's funny. Wow, YouTube really has changed for sure.
Oh, it's huge changes.
So your channel, throughout time, you really gained a big subscription base, and you had quite a lot of subscribers, and you had a really big view count.
At the beginning, yes. At the beginning, let's say I'll call it my rise, because my channel has certainly had an evolution. But at the beginning, when it started going up, it was thousands a day. I mean, it was like new subscribers, and and then back in the day, let's say 2010 to let's say 12, 13, something like that. A video with 50,000 views, I considered that not a success. Like, it didn't do very well.
Wow. Back
in the day, and then, I remember hitting my first million view mark, and, and the subscribers just kept, piling on. And then, and then it kind of tapered off. Well, then we had Google, what was it called? Google. it was Google's attempt to like do Facebook. What was it called now?
Oh,
Oh,
that,
darn.
what was
Google.
Google? Was it the Google Plus?
Google Plus, yeah,
Plus.
exactly. They forced everybody on YouTube who had an account to get a Gmail account.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't have like Hotmail or whatever, or
Yeah.
you couldn't Yahoo or whatever. You needed a Gmail account to have a YouTube channel back. They forced you. You had no choice.
Yeah.
They made you get one. And I thought, I don't know if it was a coincidence, but it feels like that's when it happened. When Google Plus came in, everyone was complaining about view drops and things like that because people didn't want a Gmail account to stop watching or whatever. Anyway, and I found that that's where things started to level off. Yeah. And now I lose more subscribers every month than I gain, pretty much. So, and my view count now is it's pretty small. It's pretty small.
You see that across the board with a lot of folks that things just, I mean, even now during our pandemic and other issues, it's like, well, people are inside and they're going to watch YouTube and view counts are and no, it doesn't seem to, everything's just kind of.
I mean, I saw a little bit, I didn't see a huge rise in my views during the pandemic. What I didn't see is I saw it kind of stayed steady when normally after Christmas you get that drop, especially for cooking channels. I think for all channels, because they stopped spending money on advertising usually in January.
Yep.
So, I usually see a fairly decent slump, but the slump kind of leveled off a little because of the pandemic. I don't know. I'm thinking just because people were cooking more maybe and looking for cooking videos or whatever, but that's about, so I noticed that during the pandemic, but nothing else really affected my channel too much.
Now, back when you started the cooking thing on YouTube, were the I guess I'll call them the cooking shows on regular TV, were they a big thing back then when you started, or like the Rachel Ray?
You mean on like the Food Net?
Yeah.
Like the Food Network? Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think there was. I don't know if we had the Food Network then or not.
So I'm trying to remember.
Been on.
Yeah, I can't.
But
remember.
I used to watch. There were cooking TV shows when we were kids and we were growing up too. Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And but on YouTube, I mean, I think I was maybe one of maybe 10, 20 cooking channels.
Yeah.
When I started, there was, I remember I have a news article that I kept that has me in the top, the top 10.
Oh, wow.
Top 10.
That's awesome.
Top 10 cooking channels on YouTube back whenever that was, a long, long time ago. But until everyone and, every single person created a cooking channel.
Yeah. And that's the thing now, like you just said, everyone. I mean, literally, I think everyone has a YouTube channel. I'm going to be a YouTube star.
Exactly. And you get television stars coming into YouTube doing their cooking here now too.
Yeah.
If they maybe they realize that they're missing out on some income there, that there's a whole other audience that doesn't watch TV anymore that's on social media. So
yeah,
they're not, you're competing. I remember I had more subs than Gordon Ramsay when he started his channel. I remember that. My husband said, "Look, Gordon Ramsay." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. He's got a YouTube channel. Hey, I got more subscribers than Gordon Ramsay." Made a little comment. "Hey, you need some help growing your channel? Let me know. We'll collab." He never called.
That's the funny thing. I noticed that too. It's like, there came that point where it's like, I'm not just competing with other YouTubers. Now I'm competing with Will Smith and, movie stars and TV stars and musicians. And I'm like, come on, man, we don't even have a chance now.
Yeah, no, it's changed. It's changed so much. Plus the other thing we're competing against now, and I think I blame this for one of the main reasons why a lot of the, I'll call it homegrown cooking channels, where people do stuff in their houses and it's not a studio production.
Yeah.
Our channels like So Tasty and Yummy, So Yummy, and they do viral, a lot of Facebook too. They do viral videos, you've probably seen them. Some of them are completely faked. They're faked, completely faked.
Yeah.
But they get billions of views.
Yes.
And they're made by a company. Well, one of the companies is called Soul Media, and it's in Russia. And they have hundreds of YouTube channels, and they have content farms. Like they have content, like warehouses with tables and just like lights as far as you can see, with people making cooking videos and videos for them, crafting videos. And they get billions of views, and the algorithm just eats it up. Like the algorithm features them front and center. And we just don't stand a chance. I don't think, and I did change my content a little bit. I went away from making like mostly character decorated cupcakes, which kind of got me going at the beginning.
Yeah.
To more, I call it evergreen content, that things that people will look for in the years to come.
Yes.
How to make bread, or how to make things that people will look for.
Yes.
Rather than a cartoon character that someone may not recognize in 10, 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought that had something to do with it. And it probably did. I think there's a bunch of factors that caused my channel to stop growing, I guess. And one of them was the fact that because I think it's a lot to do with these content farms that are saturating, and it's kind of taking over the algorithm.
Yeah.
So I think it has something to do with it as well. So it's, but it's not just me. There were other my colleague channels where we all started around the same time doing similar content. And you know what? They have more subscribers than me. Some of them have double the subscribers that I have.
Wow.
And their view percentage, the percentage of viewers of subscribers that watch their videos, if you were to look at the view count compared to the number of subscribers they have, it's like less than 1%. And I'm not the only one. There are a bunch of them out there that are like that.
Yeah.
That it's minuscule, like just tiny percentage of their subscribers seem to be watching now. Now that can't happen to everybody at once. You know what I mean? It's just like YouTube has something to do with that. Yeah, absolutely.
I always get the question is like, why don't you show your subscriber count? And it's like, if you have 20,000 subscribers and your videos get 1,000 views, what does it matter? It's that subscriber. Now anybody can take a second and go click and then never come back.
Right.
That's why I really don't post it. It's really not a big deal to me anyway.
Well, I've left mine on, but it clearly it makes no difference. I've dropped below 800,000 now, so I think I'm 770 here. I don't keep track of it anymore. Because I don't care. Yeah. But I don't really care about the numbers. I kind of take a look at it, but I mean, if I get 5,000 views on a video now, that's that one did good.
Yeah, right.
But what percentage of that is of 800,000 is that? I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like yeah. Or even a live stream. I'll do a live stream. I'll have 30 people. How is that possible?
Yeah.
If you have 700,000 subscribers, that 30 of them I decided to tune in to say hi.
I know. It's
like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, I noticed the notification system on YouTube is very lacking. I'll have people, I'll do a live stream and I'll be on there for an hour and a half, and the last 2 minutes somebody will come in, hey, I just got a notification. Well, I'm out. I'm leaving. And even myself, I'll get an email, like 2 hours after I'm done with my live stream saying that you're going live on YouTube. Oh, I am.
Well, I've noticed a lot of bigger YouTubers, when they do live streams, if I've watched the replay, the first, some of them have 10 minutes of blank nothing at the beginning. Like where they have music or they have a countdown or they have, and I think it's just to be able to let that notification sink in so that people actually, I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it. Because sometimes I will get notified of my own live stream a good 5 minutes after I've started.
Yeah,
right?
Crazy.
So what do? You stand there and wait there for your subscribers to come in? I mean,
And that's
so throw something up and wait until there's a bunch of people and then come on in, so.
That's why I decided to do the Thursday thing at the same time. That way you don't have to wait for notification.
Right.
7:00 this day, I'm here. So show up or don't. And then and then I do the little, I guess it's like 2 minutes or whatever, a minute and a half or 2 minutes, whatever it is, however long that video is. I play that in the beginning. One, because when people come in, you got to sit through the ad sometime in the beginning and wait for that to get done. And then, people start trickling in. You just say hi. Because if you get on and you go, hi, I'm live, blah, 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 5 minutes later, what I miss? Okay, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And then 10 minutes later, what's that? Blah, 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 blah. Again, no. So I just play that little thing so everybody can trickle in, get your seat. So yeah, I could see why the smarter YouTubers would go, okay, here, let me just throw this up here. Let YouTube's notification system catch up. It does make sense. And speaking of the farms, I found a channel a little while ago. Oh man, what's the name of it? How to Cook This or something? I forget what it's called. I think that's it. How to
Cook that. And Reardon, How to Cook That. Yeah.
And I was watching that. I was like, this is awesome. I love how she debunks some of this stuff.
You know what? And what's mind-boggling with me is she pushes her Patreon like crazy. Because she says she doesn't make enough money on YouTube to make her videos, and she gets like hundreds of thousands and millions of views.
Yeah,
but I believe it. I believe it. I believe that she really. I think things have changed so much from the beginning of YouTube, when I first started making content, to now as far as earning. Guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Because I look at her video views now, I'm like, come on, Patreon, really? I know what you're making. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Why do you need Patreon for? But it's not the case. It's even the view numbers, it certainly helps with your income, number of views.
Right.
From monetization, but the level of monetization has changed. The CPMs and all that. So I don't know who you have to be to get really high CPMs anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have no clue how that works anymore. But it's not. It's a lot of people have just quit, but they've had millions of subscribers, and every video they made a really lot of views on it, like other cooking channels. They've just stopped. Because it's not worth it. They needed to get another job in order to live. And they couldn't use YouTube as their primary, as their living.
It's odd to see too what videos they push and what, because I can watch this handful of people all the time. Every time they put a video out, I can watch it. But I'll be sitting here and they'll go, watch this, recommend it. Here, watch it. And they'll throw these things in my face.
Watch this. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why did they pick this for me? It's kind of odd the way they pick and choose. I guess it has to do something with the algorithm and the click-through rate and the view times and all that stuff. I don't know. I really don't know how they figure it out. It's crazy.
Well, there was a point in I work full-time outside of the home. YouTube's not my job.
Right.
My YouTube started off as a hobby, and it continues to be a hobby for me, more so nowadays than ever. It's kind of come full circle. Started off as a hobby, and now it's back as a hobby. But there was a point early on when I considered quitting my day job to do YouTube full time.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about that. So go ahead.
I thought about it because I was actually earning similar wages to what I was making in my full time day job. So but I'm not a risk taker when it comes to. I've never been a risk taker when it comes to money. I'm not one of those kind of risk takers. And I thought about it, and I know a couple of YouTubers, cooking channels, that they did that. They quit when I was a teacher. She quit YouTube full, and now she's a teacher again. But then my job has a pension, and by that point I'd put in like 15 years into the job. So no, I mean, my cooler heads prevailed, and
Right.
thank God.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know, because I'm not convinced that even if I would have went at it full time and really worked hard at it as a full time job, if I would have been able to maintain it. Because I think I'm looking at all these other super successful cooking channels that did a lot better than me, and they're all hurting and they're all disappearing and they've all quit.
Yeah.
So you know what? Yeah, no, it was a good call. We'll have to chalk that one up as a good call. Well, so that I just kept it as a part-time thing.
It is that yeah, very fortunate, very fortunate. Well, I mean, you never know, especially, you know, back then when you started and it's like, wow, look at this. And then who knew that, yeah, everything would kind of go the way it has. And well, like I said, you know, celebrities and everything, and nobody's watching TV anymore. Let me go over and make a YouTube channel and just, I mean, when you log on to YouTube for your very first day and your first video, you have over 1 million views. And, you know, when you bring all those people with you, how can it help but the algorithm to go, hey, we want these guys because they're making us money too, you know? So they kind of kicked the little guy to the side. I think it had a lot to do with it. Oh,
agreed. Yeah, it's a different world. YouTube world is like, it's not the same YouTube. It's more corporate. Well, I don't want to say corporate's the right word for it, but it's just more big business and big things now instead of I mean, there's still lots of little people doing their thing on YouTube, but yeah, it's just not the same.
It's not its namesake anymore. It's not YouTube anymore.
Exactly. That's right. That's exactly it. It's not YouTube anymore.
Yeah. The people,
that's why it was called YouTube, because you could put yourself on the internet.
Yeah. It's not its namesake anymore. I hear a lot of people say, you know, it's like the people that made it, you know, that came on and built YouTube to this ginormous thing that it is, now are getting kicked to the side for the CNN and the CBS and the Late Night with This has a YouTube channel, and Late Night with That, and you know, you can go see anybody that isn't on TV anymore is on YouTube.
Right. Exactly.
Well, when you were in the thick of it and actually considering, you know, maybe doing this thing full time or thing, did you invest a lot of time and money? Did you like, okay, let me get some equipment, let me do this, let me, you know, dive in? Did it really cost a lot to get started? Did you upgrade stuff, or did you just go with what you had? And
a little bit of both. I didn't spend. I mean, I bought like a light, like a couple lights. I bought what I consider a decent camera. But other people would say, no, that's a crappy camera. Why'd you buy that? You know what I mean? There's so many, you know what I mean? Like, I bought like what I thought was a decent camera. I paid, I think $600 for it or something, which was gigantic. Like, oh my God. You know, I bought this, and I tried to get a decent microphone for voiceovers and things like that. But other than that, no, I didn't build this, I considered building a kitchen, a set kitchen in the basement.
Yeah.
Right. I considered that because it's really hard. I mean, I noticed early on that a lot of the really popular channels, see, mine's not I always say mine's not an entertainment channel. It's a how-to channel. It's how to do it.
Right.
And this is not part of my channel. Like, people don't watch to see my face. You know what I mean? They watch to see what I'm cooking.
Yeah.
And when I saw a lot of the other channels, I mean, you know, a lot of skinny young girls, but they were all kind of in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And they were, you know, that was one of the reasons why people were watching. I said, well, I need to get myself a kitchen so I have a counter I can stand behind and cook on the counter. You know, I was thinking about doing that, but I never, but I live in a very small house. So that would have been,
I'm fortunate. I took over a kid's room when all the kids got older and left. I just moved into one of the spare bedrooms, and I kind of just made this my little studio. But I could see, oh man, working in your kitchen. Well, I recreated one of your recipes actually, and dragging the crap down there just to try to do something in the kitchen.
Even to take photos of the final product, right? Like, I try to take some time to get some decent food pictures to be able to use as thumbnails.
Yeah.
And my photo cube is also packed away, so I got to unpack it, set it up with the, you know what I mean? So, but you know, and that's one of the reasons why my videos have voiceovers, because that's how I started doing, you know.
Yeah.
I started to make, at the very beginning, if you watch some really old ones, you'll hear me talking, and I'm actually talking as I'm making the food. Like, you know, take the butter, put it in, and they're a little bit longer videos, but still. Right. And then you hear the phone ring, and then my Max, it was just a little guy then, so he used to come in and ask me questions, and you know, mom, you know, what's that? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, that kind of a thing. So eventually, and then, you know, everyone's, you know, doing things around the house. So I started just filming. And then when I had a quiet minute, I would edit and then throw a voiceover into it. Plus, it's easier to edit if you voice over, because if you're talking as you're cooking, you're going to go really long. So,
yeah, I found that out when I do my painting too. If I'll throw a painting up, I'm not going to sit here and paint and talk. And no, I just I throw it up, and as I play it, I talk. I'm doing this here. I do the voiceovers too. It is a lot easier.
Much easier.
With me, I know with the visual impairment, I rely a lot on my cameras and everything, because it's like, you know, hit the auto and hope it works, because if I make it so the brightness and the color and everything's right for me, it might be unwatchable. So like, what is that? You know, so I kind of get a camera and hit that auto and hope everything works out with the white balance and everything else and the focus and everything, because so it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is, really, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have it down to, there's one thing about making them for so long. You kind of get it down to a science, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what? The thing is, I've always done is I just make it. Like, if it doesn't turn out, then that's what you get.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's one YouTuber, she was called Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio. And she was in British Columbia, and she doesn't make videos anymore, but she'd make a cake, but she'd make 4 of them, like one to show, one to cut. You know what I mean? Like, she would, she would make a bunch of them, just get perfected, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, no, there you go. I made a cake. No, I'm not doing this again. Are you kidding me? I work full time, you know. I'm doing this on my days off. So no, I'm not. No, who's got time to make 8 cakes to try to perfect it?
Doing that real TV production where you sit there and you mix the batter and you put everything, and then you go and the magic and pull the baked one out of the
turkey. Stuff the turkey, and here's one that's already done in the oven. Yeah, exactly. So, and I mean, people appreciate the realness. People have told me that over and over again. You know what? Like, it was a crap. Some people say, "Oh, you just maybe watch 3 minutes to tell me it's a terrible recipe." Right? You know what I mean? Like, how dare you? Why didn't you say at the beginning this was horrible? You never make it again, kind of a thing. But it's like, oh well, you know, sorry. But people appreciate that I'm honest, because you know what? You know, you watch most cooking channels, you know, they'll try it at the end and it's the best thing they've ever tasted.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. And I'm like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Can I make it again? No, probably not. Probably not going to make it again.
Now, do you are these your recipes, or do you like, hey, it's Halloween, let's find some spider recipe? Do you look for them? Are they yours, or a combination? How do you get your?
Well, no, I'm not a chef. I'm not, and I'm not particularly creative. I know I don't make things up. I know I'm not it takes great skill and a lot of experience to develop a recipe.
Yeah.
And to make it so that it can be reproduced successfully every time. That takes a long time, and it takes, you know, you have to have the education, the skill, and the creativity to do that, which I don't. So what I usually do is I'll find something that I like through either recipe magazines, books, you know, just an internet search, image search. I'll find something that I like, and what I normally try to do is I try not to copycat it exactly, because that's really not fair. But I try to make it my own in some fashion by changing it, or I'll say, I tried this. They said to do it this way. Don't do it that way.
Yeah.
You know, that's terrible. Like, look what happened. This, you know, look at the mess. Don't do it that way. I've tried it, and this is the better way to do it. So I usually, or I'll do a recipe, or I often call them recipe reviews, because I'll make it and I'll go, yeah, it's all good, or no, this was fantastic, you have to try this,
Right.
kind of thing. So yeah, no, I don't. Most of what I do is I find elsewhere, and you know what? And that's another thing that I've always been extremely open and honest about, is that you will find the source of any idea that I've had or recipe in the description box of every single one of my videos.
There you go.
You know what? Credit to who came up with it. But to say, hey, this is my chocolate cake recipe. No, it's not.
Right.
No, that, chocolate cake's been around a long time, and just because you put, 2 tablespoons less of flour in it doesn't suddenly make it something you created.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
yeah, that's why when I recreated your little caramel apple bombs, it was like, okay, well, a little bit different. Like one, you made your pie filling, I opened the can. So it was just a little bit different. It was like, so if you liked that and you don't, and you do have a can of this crap laying around here, this is what might happen. So it was really fun. I enjoyed it. And there's so many times I watch your little recipes and just, I drool while I'm watching it. And it's like, man, so this time I was like, I'm doing it. I don't care. I got to do it.
Well, the way I pick recipe, I just look for things and I'll go, ooh, that looks really good. I think people will like that. And that's basically, I just let my eye wander until I find something. Hey, that looks awesome. I'm going to make that. I mean, every once in a while I will make a video because I think it might be popular. Like I'll make something because it's popular.
Yeah.
Like it's, like a viral video that's going around.
Yeah.
I
trendy. Yeah.
Yeah, like I will jump on trends. I'm certainly not immune to that. But for the most part, I think that people will be interested in the things that I like. So I just find them and then I put them out.
Well, I mean, let's be real, 99% of the people that are on YouTube because they want people to watch them and they want the views. And if you're monetized, you want that 15 cents or whatever you get.
Right.
So yeah, you're going to try to go, hey, if I do this, people will watch, and you throw it on the wall and see if it sticks. And yeah, isn't that why everybody's on YouTube?
Well, yeah, you're right. You try to find things that people are going to want to see, though. That's the kind of the point.
Yeah, that is the point. Now, back in the day, when earlier on, was there all this analytics and everything that you could kind of track your stuff, or did that come later?
I'm trying to think when that happened. Once you became a partner, you had access to how much money you were making. Like you could go into your account and you could see what how much money you were going to get every month. Like it would have but as far as the analytics, like how many people, I think you could look up the age of the people watching, the sex, and you could look up where they were from. Like what country they were in,
right?
And of course view per video and all that. But now it's gigantic. Like the analytics that are, I mean, it's crazy. I don't even touch it. Like, I mean, I don't even look at it anymore. Like I look at it. Whoa, you need almost a course to understand. The analytics just to be able to go through all of it. Because now you can look at number of views in the first 10 minutes, the 2 minutes, and how
Yeah.
Like it is. It's and how one video performs better than the other, and where people are dropping off.
Yeah.
I mean, that you could always do that. They would always show you how many people are watching at what point you lost people.
Yeah.
It would kind of show you that. But now, you could spend a lot of time just going through those analytics and trying to figure out what you can do to make things better. Well, there was a time where a good chunk of my views came from websites that would embed my video into their website.
Oh, really?
Right. So they use the YouTube player, so you get credit for the views. So they would embed your video into their website, and I would get a ton of views, like an explosion of views, and a whole pile of comments. And I was like, where is this coming from? Because you don't know. It'll just say other. It won't.
Yeah.
On the analytics, it won't tell you exactly what website that it was on. And I would ask people in the comments, where did you see this? And they'd say littlethings.com or something like that. And I would go, and sure enough, there's my video.
Huh.
But it's embedded, which means that I would get credit for, like, it was playing within the YouTube player.
Right.
But people don't do that anymore. Facebook you're going to do better on Facebook if you upload it with Facebook. If you put a link to your YouTube video in a Facebook page, you're lucky if it'll even put up a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes they won't even convert your link into a picture.
Yes.
And that's on purpose, because they want Facebook ads on their videos. They don't want to have YouTube in there.
Yeah. They want you to do a Facebook Live. They don't want you posting your YouTube videos on Facebook.
Yeah. And I get emails all the time from big, like, the Daily Mail UK. I'm trying to think. It was a really, really big website. And they're like, hey, we'd like to use permission to use your videos, put them on our Facebook page, put them on our website. And I'm like, okay, you mean in the YouTube player, like with it embedded? Well, no, we're going to upload them. Right. Oh. I said, okay, well, how much are you going to pay me for licensing these things? And they're like, well, no, it's credit. We're going to give you credit. Like, oh, really? Awesome. And I usually write back, like, credit doesn't pay the mortgage. You know what I mean? Like, because one thing I've learned over the years is there's a I think it was Good Morning America, or it was one of these TV programs, the popular ones, morning shows. And I actually got my name and a creation of mine featured on a segment. And I did it with, was it Ann Reardon? No, it was my Cupcake Addiction. She was another super popular YouTuber that doesn't make YouTube videos anymore. Uh-huh. We did a collaboration together, and it was a Halloween thing. And we were contacted saying, hey, we'd like to make these things on our, like, live on this morning show. We're going to mention you guys. Can we use clips of your videos? And I said, sure. I'm like, so I was waiting, ooh, it's going to be exciting, because, my views are going to explode, right? I mean, it's going to be like, oh my God, it's going to, no. No, apparently people who watch morning television, like, didn't think that they should go over to their computers and type in YOYOMAX12 to find out. So, yeah. I'm
not making a YouTube account just so I can watch this lady.
I learned quickly that credit gets you nowhere. Like, people are watching a video. They're not going to say, gee, I wonder if this person has other videos I might enjoy. Perhaps I shall click on this teeny tiny little link that they put in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Or they put on the 20th line of text below it, right? It's so tiny you can barely see it. I mean, it's not, no one's been willing to pay me for my videos yet. They want their stuff for free. They want their content for free. Yeah. And there are people out there willing to give it. To give it away. I mean, yeah. So how you can compete with people that are just willing to just have their content featured for credit. But
yeah, anyway. They'll do anything to get their face and name out there. I guess they're 15 minutes. So did you, throughout your YouTube career, did you have any sponsors? Anybody that, either sent you stuff and said, here, we'll give you this for free if you talk about it, or here, we'll sponsor a video for a month, or I don't know, anything like that?
There was a time back, I don't know, I'm going to pick a date. Let's say 13, 14 or something like that. They still exist, but one was called FameBit. Okay. And there are other similar ones. I think FameBit is still around. But what you do is you go on there, and people who wanted to pay you to make a video for them, they would say, hey, cooking channels, we want you to make a cooking video about, whatever, or snack boxes, for example. Okay. Snack boxes. There was one, I can't remember the name of it. Doesn't matter. It was a snack box. And they said, we want people to make videos about our snack boxes, opening our snack boxes. So you'd put in a little proposal. I will make you a such and such a video, so long, with photos and, good lighting. and then you would put in your bid and then you get it. So they would pay you real money to make their review video. So I have some of those, not very many. I've had like my air fryer. Kasori has sent me 2 things. Kasori company, they sent me my air fryer, and they sent me a pressure cooker. So I got those for free.
Oh, nice.
But I'm not popular enough anymore for them to pay me money and give me free stuff.
Right.
I get the free stuff now. Before it'd be like, free stuff? Ugh, are you kidding me? You know what? No, thank you. You know, if you throw in $500, maybe we'll talk, but you know, and you can negotiate something like that. But yeah, no, those days are gone. Those days are gone. So, but you know, but I do it every once in a while. If someone, but I mean, someone wanted me to, like, it was a kitchen fan over my stove, right? They wanted it with lights in it.
Yeah.
We'll send you this kitchen fan if you make a video about it. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not doing kitchen renovate. Like, I have to convince my husband and to take out a perfectly good fan and put in a new one. And you know what, you know, and people don't, I don't know how, I guess I could kind of integrate it into a cooking video, but it wouldn't be very natural.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that I turned them down because, like, you know, because they really didn't care. Or I run out of room in my kitchen for stuff. So I have to be fairly selective what I accept from people. So I've done a few, but I don't get the offers anymore. It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. I found it odd that, I mean, I think I wasn't even at 4,000 subscribers yet, but I had little dumb things like this one company sent me these mints. We'll send you these mints if you just, you know, I'm like, okay, it's a mint. Go on, eat a mint. Yeah, they're okay. Here they are, you know.
Here are the mints. Yeah.
And another one was a holster. I got a holster. What gun do you have? What is it for? We'll send you a holster. Do a review on it. Okay. It's a free holster. But yeah, and that went away. And it was like we were talking about earlier too. It's like I was getting, it wasn't like ridiculous, but I was getting a steady maybe 4,000 or 5,000 views on a video. And you know, the YouTube thing, you have to make $100 or they won't send you anything. So I was getting every month, I was getting a little check, you know, $100 here, you know, 250 here and whatever. And every month I was getting a little bit of money. Now it's like views are like way down. I got a month or 2 between checks from, you know, and it's just like, it's crazy. It has changed so much.
Yeah, the money I get from YouTube now it's all from old videos. It's all from my old videos. I keep making videos because I enjoy it and I like the interaction with the people that do watch. And it's a hobby and I just like to do it. It's something I still enjoy doing it. And that's why I keep doing it. But if I were to stop making videos today, my income's probably not going to change. Because it's almost entirely based on old stuff, old videos that I posted years ago.
Was there anything iffy during the kid stuff? You know, it was like, oh, I shouldn't make a Minion cupcake because did that affect you in any way?
Yeah, nothing's happened to me, mind you. I went through all of my videos. I went through them all, one at a time. I privatized about. I think probably 90%, well, maybe 99% of my early videos where I had my son in. My son was little. Oh, okay. He was in a lot of them. A lot of them, I put those to private. They weren't getting views anyway, so why take a chance?
Right.
And a lot of the anything cupcake that was relatable to a character like Minions or SpongeBob or whatever, those ones I put as I marked them as for kids.
Oh, okay.
I mark those for children because just, you know what? I don't make enough money off of them to say, oh no, what, you know, it's not worth it. I don't want the legal hassle if it ever comes about. So, but they're not entertaining in like where I have jingle, you know, like I do have a jingle. I've got my little theme song, but I mean, it's not something kids will, ooh, you know, like, like you're going to sit your 3-year-old in front of to watch because it's a how-to video. So like my Minecraft cake and my Pac-Man cake, which are my big earners, so the top earners, those ones, those ones they're not really for kids. It's for parents to make for their kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's how to make a cake and how to cut the things out and how to build the blocks and how to cut the cookies out. I mean, yeah, which it's general audience content because anyone can watch and might be interested in it, but it's not to entertain children. That's not the point of the video.
My thing was at the time was when they put out the little rules, the way they presented it, it was like, what do you mean? Oh, well, if you use colors, what?
Your thumbnails are too pretty. Is good.
If you use bright colors, if you're drawing something, if you're doing, I'm like, okay, so I guess if you're over 30, you only watch black and white. What do you mean if you use colors? I was like,
or if you have dogs or something, like, you know, if you have animals,
yeah,
you know what? And I mean,
crazy.
I shake my head, and you know who I'm talking about. There's people that have, this is not for children at the beginning of their video. And you're like, you know what, dear, there are no kids watching your video. Trust me on this. Yeah. There's no children watching this. So don't have to warn anybody. But anyway, because you happen to have a dog or something.
You just actually mentioned something else I was going to ask you about, your little jingle. When did that all come about? Were you like, okay, I need a little jingle? Did you reach out to somebody? Did someone come to you, or how did that all come about?
Well, I talked about all the early days and like the 2010s kind of thing when I first started off. Even earlier than that, probably 2009 or something like that. Right at the beginning, that group of friends that I had that I used to watch. Yeah. One of them was Jason Shaw, who is Audionautics. And you may know him because a lot of YouTubers use his song, uses music because it's always been royalty free. In fact, Nomadic Fanatic, that little jingle at the beginning, I think it comes from Audionautics, one of his songs.
So he's in the YouTube.
Yeah, he's one of the YouTube people that YouTube says it's okay to use these.
Yeah, because when you said, I was like, what do I know that name? Yeah, I probably have some in because I get some of my stuff from the YouTube studio thing that you're allowed to use. Right. Audionautics. Yeah. There's
him. There's 2 or 3 bigger ones, like sites you probably know of that provide royalty-free music. Even if you are going to monetize, they don't care as long as you transform it and it makes part of your work, right? Yeah. Like you can't sell their songs on their own, but if you make it into a video or use it in a video, they're good with that as long as you credit them. Right. So, he was doing that, but he's a radio announcer, this guy in Maine, or he used to be. I don't know if he still does. And he does impressions and comedies and things like comedy routines and things like that. He's really good. And he sings and he plays music. He's super talented. And he used to do comedy skits and whatnot on YouTube back in the day. Oh. And he used to watch my channel. So he was one of my little group of people that I was friendly with. And one day he says, I'm going to make you a theme song. Do you want one? And that was before I made videos for general consumption. That's when I used to make them just for friends. Yeah. And I said, hey, sure, why not? So he made me my YOYOMAX theme song. And that was before
sticks in my head.
That is even before I made before I made my first cooking video. Wow. That was so, I've had it for forever. And then I just started using it, and he made me a shorter, he says, you know what? It's 12 seconds long. It's a bit long. I'll make you a short. So he made me I have a little short version of it that I kind of alternate them, the long one and the short one, depending on the length of the video. And I've just changed the background graphics on it over the years. Yeah. And he gave it to me. And after once my channel started to do really good, YouTube was flagging it. Like, is this your music? Is this your music? Is this your music? And I'm like, yes, it's my music. You know what I mean? And they're like, and they want proof. So Jason wrote me a letter saying, I've given this song to her. It belongs to her. She can use it, kind of thing. But then what was happening was there were companies that were taking Jason's music. They were adding something called a subliminal beat, or they're adding just a tiny little beat, like an underlying tone to it.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they were uploading that to YouTube, and then any video that had that song in it, they were saying was theirs, even though it was Jason's song. So a lot of my older videos got flagged as belonging to this weird company when it was Jason's royalty-free music. And I didn't want that to happen with my theme song. So I discussed it with Jason, and he's like, well, just register it at the Copyright Office.
Yeah.
So, and I forget what it cost. It wasn't very much.
No, it's not much.
I uploaded you upload the file, and then, and I just put it as a work for hire, because you can copyright music you hire someone to make for you.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't have to be your own creation.
Correct. Yep.
And they would copyright the tune, but not the lyrics. Because they said the lyrics weren't complex enough. And I was like, okay, yeah, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Oh, see, now we're going to get a strike on this video.
Yeah.
That's copyrightable, but let's see what's cooking is not anyway.
That's a whole big mess there, man. The music stuff on YouTube is crazy.
I've got my certificate from the United States Copyright Office. And I even sent Jason a little monetary gift too, just to say, I bought this song. It's mine.
There you go.
Paid, right? So anyhow,
that's awesome.
So that's and now people say, oh, you're still using the same song over and over again. I said, yeah, well, it's part of my channel. That's people expect it.
Oh, it's great. It's so catchy. I think it's awesome. It is that little thing. It gets stuck in your head. It's that little earworm, and it's like, who you're watching. You know what? I think it's perfect. You don't have to change a thing. I think it's great.
Thanks to Jake.
All right. So, is there anything that you would say to someone starting a YouTube channel now? Like, they just started. They got their, I don't know, they got their 100 subscribers or 150 subscribers, and they're kind of having fun, and they kind of have their eyes on the prize, and they're getting some aspirations and some hopes and dreams, maybe a little bit. Is there anything that you would advise them or say, like, quality over quantity, or how to do certain things, or don't put all your eggs in one basket like you thought about but didn't? Is there any advice you would give someone starting today?
Well, I thought that you might ask me this question, actually. I was thinking, how am I going to answer that? And at first I said, well, it's going to change the answer would change from 10 years ago to now, probably. Yeah. But then I thought about it, and, not really. I probably would say I'd have the same advice as I did back then. Is, what, and as simple as it sounds, is you got to do something that you like doing. You have to do something you like to do. It has to show that you enjoy doing it. People will watch it if it's something that you like to do. Watch it, they will come, kind of a thing. But but then nowadays it's maybe not as true as it was back then, but you still have to have that. And you know what? You have to build a community. You have to, you can't make videos and expect people to watch yours if you don't interact with similar people that do similar things to you, and not build rapport with them. Yes. And build yourself a little community. And then, they're more likely to talk about you, or they're more likely to share your videos and that kind of a thing. So to me, but that was one of the reasons why I love YouTube, was the social aspect of it. And the community, at least back in the day. So, I think community is important. And it's as far as how to be super popular, to be able to make a living off of it nowadays, I don't have advice for people who want to do that. I don't know.
Right.
As far as the cooking aspect of it, like, I don't know what you'd have to do a cooking channel that would suddenly take off and earn you enough money to be able to live off of it and not have to work, outside of your home.
Well, I'll say this is one, the definitely, if you're watching someone and they're doing something because they're going through the motions and they don't enjoy it, you can tell. So yes, definitely doing something that you enjoy and that you're knowledgeable about and passionate about and all that good stuff. Definitely for sure. And as far as trying to be unique and stand out is very, very difficult now as to when you started and coming up because there was only a handful of people doing it. Now that everybody on the planet is doing it, trying to be that standout original thing it takes a special person. It really does.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you 100% there.
Yeah, it has
It's
definitely changed.
Oh, that's changed for sure. Yeah, I don't know if you were to start a cooking channel now, what you'd have to do. I think you have to be ready to change all the time too, because I think YouTube channels are a lot like TV shows in the sense that they don't last forever. You
Right.
know, Lost, and yes, everyone loved that show or whatever, but I mean, like The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead, but I think it's on its way out, and I think it's the last season or what. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You get 7-8 year run on a TV show. That's good, but generally TV shows don't last 25 years. They just don't.
That's right. That's true.
Unless you have to. So I think that you have to be prepared to, to keep maybe to change what you're doing to try to maintain your viewership or whatnot. But everything is just so high production. Like most of the popular stuff is just like it's like looks like TV.
Yeah.
The quality is different and everything like that. So I don't know.
And well, the other thing you touched on too is a lot of YouTubers miss out, forget, or don't think of. They concentrate on, okay, let me film, let me have this concept, let me film, let me edit, let me do this, and they forget that just that going down through and answering comments and going over and watching this video, watching this person and commenting, and so you're like, well, I don't have time to. Well, if you want to, you have to find the time, because without that community, like you said, and that little group, it's a lot of work. And if you could be watching someone and they're watching you and everything, and you get busy and you go, well, it was okay when I had 1,000 subscribers, but now I have this many and I can't answer everybody and blah blah. And next thing you know, you're like, well, why don't they come over and watch me anymore? Well, you didn't watch their video, you didn't leave them a comment, you haven't said hello, you haven't done anything, so things drop off. And you do have to cater to the people. You have to. It's just like when you see some of these celebrities or musicians and say, hey, thank you to the fans, because without you guys, I would be nothing. It is exactly the same way on YouTube. Without those people clicking that button and watching you, you're nothing.
Right. And one thing I've noticed over the years too, like my little community that I had at the beginning, no one makes videos anymore. Like they stop.
Really?
Except for one. There's one lady that still does daily vlogs. She's been doing daily vlogs since like 2006.
Wow.
Yeah. Dreamer 72 Femme, Stacy.
Wow.
And she still makes videos almost every day. And it's just, this is what we had for dinner. You know what I mean? She's always been, it's her and her dad going to the Walmart, And anyway, it's, so, but you know what? I've also started reaching out and trying to build myself a new community. And that's how I met you.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I met you.
Right.
Right. I mean, I started, one of my friends had said to me, you know what? I want, she says, I love camping. I want to buy this little trailer. You should watch this lady. She's a middle-aged lady, kind of exactly your age. And she runs around the country living in her little Class C motorhome, which is Carolyn's RV life.
Yeah.
And I started, you should go check her out. So I started watching. And then, of course, which led me to watching you, because you did reviews of a lot of the wheeled wonders. And, anyway. And then I found, Totally Kathy. And then, anyway.
Yeah.
So it kind of, and then I found a neighbor down the street,
Yeah.
So, anyway, you know what? So, but the only way you get to know people is by talking to them and interacting with them and things like that. So
It is.
Anyway,
It's a big
so
part.
you have to start somewhere. That's not going to, but it's not going to get you 200,000 subscribers.
Right.
But you'll build yourself a little community, and that's the reason I started YouTube, and that's the reason I still do it.
Well, I'll say one more thing, and that is the people with the smaller channels, down here, and they think that this struggle or this drama or this or that is confined here. But no, you can go way up to the ones that have a bazillion, and they all have their little drama filled madness, and they all have the same issues and problems, and they just might have more money and more people to help them deal with it. But I notice that it's everywhere. There's still that little clicky thing, and this one's talking about this one, and there's drama in this from the top the whole way down through the middle, down here to the basement. It's all the same.
I say I always have to have mid-sized channel with bottom of YouTube views,
Yeah. Well, before we get out of here, we've been doing this for a long time. I know probably nobody's going to well sit here and listen to us yabber for hours.
No, you're probably right about that.
But who cares, right?
Yeah.
We'll end on I guess not a happy note. We'll end on a bad note, I guess. I'll say, when you get to that certain level, do the trolls and do you? I don't know. It might not be the same with a cooking channel, but did you have to deal with a lot of, nasty comments or people going, well, hey, she's getting popular and she seems happy. We don't like that. We have to knock her down a peg. Did you deal with that?
Huge. You can't have one without the other. It's not possible. That's when I say, I hear people complaining about hate comments and that. It's like, that's how you know you're irrelevant, and that's how you know you're popular. I don't get them anymore. So, now that I've said that, I'm going to probably get some people watching that we all know who we're talking about. That's probably going to want to, come over and prove me wrong.
Don't worry. You're on BlindViews channel now, so you will get some hate comments.
That's all right. Anyway, you know what? I mind you, I used to get a ton, and it's people go, how can you get hate on a cooking channel, right? No, you get a ton. I used to get lots and lots. I had 2 or 3 dedicated haters, that used to make channels with just my face, my son's face, and just horrible. Like, I mean, everyone, like anyone who's popular has had to deal with, over the years. But that, but I was just very, very good. I never very rarely responded to anyone who made a negative comment. They just get deleted. I just block. I have several hundred blocked users. Because after 10 years worth, you can get a lot of.
I bet you can acquire a very large room full.
I have you can make a list of blocked words.
Yes.
You should see it. Some people that have YouTube problems, I will say, I will send you my list. You can cut and paste into here. Because not only do you have to block certain words, you have to block different spellings of it.
Yes. I never thought of that.
Because people try to get around that way, right? They try to get around. Anyway. I had my fair share. Some of my older videos, you'll see that the comments are turned off. Just because I got tired of reading them. So I just shut them off. But not so much anymore. Most of the ones that are there are leaving a comment. It's a positive one. I've had people say, how can you have like, I don't know, 5 million views and no hate comments on your channel on this video? I said, because I delete them. This is a positive point. And you know what? My theory, some people say don't do that, like leave them, because it increases. But they've already made the comment. So as far as I'm concerned, the algorithm has already said, okay, someone's commented. They don't care if you delete them after. That's my theory.
Right.
But there is a theory, and I don't know if it has a name or not, but it's like a broken window theory. If you have an old building and there's a broken window, change it right away. If there's graffiti, paint over it, clean it up. If you leave it, it's just going to make more people do it.
Yeah.
It gives kind of permission. If there's already a broken window, why not break the other 4?
Right.
Really, it's already broken or it's already spray painted. So I'm going to add my artwork to it.
I'm not hurting it. Yeah.
So I don't know what the police will often tell, business owners, if you have graffiti, clean it up immediately. Don't let it stay there, even if it's not visible to the street or whatever. It's just going to, people are more likely to go and continue to do it if they're already there. Yeah. And that's my theory about hate comments. That if there's a whole pile of them, it gives permission for people to feel that they can do that's okay. And they can just pile in with well, look, everyone else thinks she's ugly or everyone else says she's fat or whatever. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in too. Why not?
Yeah.
But you know what? When you're kind of looking through and you're looking at top comments and there's nothing, like it's all, hey, good recipe, or that looks nice, or, thanks a lot, or something like that. I think you're less likely to say, eat a salad, you're too fat, or whatever.
That's
that kind
really
of
good. That's really good advice. That's a good way to look at it. I've tried several different ways through the years, and the one theory I had was, well, if I leave this moron up, then everybody's going to go, look how much of a moron this guy is. But it didn't work. They didn't care. They thrive on the fact that they're a moron. So yeah, the block delete thing. Yeah, but that's a good way to look at it, though. I never thought of that. Yep.
But it depends. Yeah, everyone kind of deals with it the way that they think they have to, kind of a thing. So
there you go. No one's immune.
So there you go.
Well, I want to thank you so very much for doing this. I had a blast, and I'm sure somebody learned something from all this, because again, someone that has been here as long as you have, going through all this and seen so many changes, and even now we get changes every couple months. There's something's getting changed. So I could just imagine the things that you've seen over the years. And we definitely appreciate you talking to everyone and giving your experience and advice. And it was a pleasure. It really was. So again, thank you. Any last words before we get on out of here?
Well, I just want to thank you for asking me for this, because this was fun. I don't know how long we've been talking, but it's flown by. Absolutely.
Yeah, it goes by quick. I always get in here with the headset that we're gonna keep this to a watchable length. Yeah, the next thing you know, an hour and a half. What? Oh, I got whatever. They'll either watch or they won't, right?
I enjoyed it very much. Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you so much. And anybody, I'm sure everybody knows who YOYOMAX12 is, but if you don't, definitely go over and check her out. Concise, to the point recipes. You want to know how to do it? There it is. Boom, boom, boom. No bunch of talking heads explain everything. This is it. Do it. And this is what it looks like. Ta-da. You'll enjoy it. I know I do. And I know one thing. This is BlindViews, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.